looks, still looks, dumps it in the middle.
Touchdown!
Touchdown! Oh, yes, Jamison Crowder.
Daniel Jones with a first down. Daniel Jones is loose inside the 30, cuts to the middle, and he will score! 61 yards! A burst from the redshirt junior to give Duke the lead.
Drops back, rush comes, he throws it under duress, picked up by the Blue Devils. Devon Edwards seals the ball game.
Biskey dropping, here comes the rush. He didn't see it, he's got hit and down, back on the 50-yard line.
There goes Fields down the sideline, touchdown! A pick six for the senior!
Wow! How about that for the Blue Devils?
Duke wraps up the month of October with the battle for the Victory Bell and the annual showdown with rival North Carolina. And we welcome you into today's show. I'm Rebecca Fiorentino alongside head coach David Cutcliffe. And coach, you've been a part of a lot of great rivalries during your time in college football. From the SEC to your 12 years here at Duke, what are the weeks like leading up to a rivalry game, and how are they a bit different compared to the regular season?
Well, let me first qualify this one. I call this the grocery store rivalry because I have to shop with them. You understand
Yep.
what I'm saying? It's everywhere. This is the only rock-throwing distance rivalry I've been a part of. But I think the biggest key with rival games, and I've been, for 50 years a part of these, is being able to play with an edge. It's going to be different, but you have to play with an edge and be poised and keep your head. You cannot let execution suffer because of that emotional edge. If you do, quite likely the game is then decided by mistakes.
You mentioned emotions. What is your approach to handling the emotions to a rivalry game?
Well, I feel it more than people know, but I don't let that gather the way I'm thinking or the way I operate on a sideline. Leading up to it, I don't think there's a coach in America that wouldn't tell you they're a little more intense at practice. And you should be. I mean, let's face it, you've got to develop that edge on the practice field or it won't be there Saturday.
Well, the Duke-UNC rivalry is certainly unique in several ways, but you've also been a part of, let's say, an Ole Miss versus Mississippi State or an Alabama versus Tennessee. How are those different, and how do they compare to the Duke-UNC rivalry?
Well, I think that the football end of it, when we came, there really wasn't a football rivalry. There was a long line, like 20 of the last 21 were won by North Carolina, so we had to create a rivalry here. Now, as it is right now, it has come into play as to who's going to win the Coastal Division.
Certainly.
They beat us one year and they won it, and we beat them one year where it set us up to win it. And that's what you want a rivalry game to be. Tennessee and Alabama back in the day, the third Saturday in October often decided who the SEC champion was going to be that early. So I love rivalries when there's more at stake than just the rivalry, that the win means that you've got an opportunity to be a champion.
Well, later on in the show, we'll get the latest Battle of the Blues breakdown, but coming up next, coaches switching roles and becoming the interviewer this time, asking questions in a sit-down with QB Quentin Harris.
Coach David Cutcliffe's Duke Football Show is brought to you by Gatorade. Win from within. By the Governor's Highway Safety Program. Don't drink and drive. You're smarter than that. And by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Continental Tires are built for the road that connects you to all of life's journeys. And for nearly 150 years, we've been developing tires to fit your needs. Each Continental Tire is designed to give you precise handling and traction in all seasons, and a quiet, comfortable ride wherever the road takes you. You're at your best when you're doing what you really love. We're at ours when we're helping you get there. Continental Tire, for what you do.
bad day fishing's better than a good day working.
Yeah.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Quentin Harris out of the shotgun. Looks very confident, does Harris. Takes the snap, going to keep it himself running left. He's got room up the middle. Look at the speed inside the 20. Quentin Harris, touchdown! We said take a shot on your feet. The quarterback scampers for 42 and a touchdown.
Well, here I am sitting here doing really my favorite thing about football, and that's not doing an interview. It is talking with a quarterback. And I'm thrilled to be sitting here with Quentin Harris. Quentin has just done a couple of really great media things. And no secret, he's an accomplished student, an accomplished young man, and it's focused on that. But I think we're going to talk and focus on Quentin Harris, the quarterback. So, Quentin, my first question, when did you fall in love with being a quarterback?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it had to have been from a really early age. Really about second grade is when I first played tackle football. And, you know, I had been exposed to football my entire life. My dad played college football. Grew up in a family that had 3 aunts go to University of Florida, so we grew up a big Gators household, so a big SEC football household. So it really just had been around it. You know, a couple of first cousins as well had played. Really had been around it, and you know, when I went out there that second grade year, my dad was my coach, and you know, just gave quarterback a shot. And I think, you know, from an early age, I just knew I had, you know, pretty good arm for my size and for that age, and you know, was fortunate enough to have a great tutor and mentor in him to help kind of just learn the ins and outs of football, just the basic kind of knowledge about just certain coverages and, you know, when to check to run plays, that kind of thing. So really was fortunate to have that and just kind of, you know, ran with it from that point on. I had played quarterback ever since then. Really haven't played any other position, so just really loved being in control.
Well, that's the way you do it. You don't want to play another position. And, you know, in our recruiting of Quentin, he was a great athlete, and it bothered me when, because of your athleticism, people would think, well, they may put him at another position. It was never a thought on our part. But I do want to talk about another sport. Tell me a little bit about baseball, because I know you have a great love and had a lot of success. And maybe how did that affect you as a quarterback?
Yeah, definitely a lot of parallels with baseball, specifically playing in the outfield or shortstop with quarterback. You know, one of those positions that you just are throwing the ball constantly. And specifically in the outfield, I used to play a lot of right field, and that's typically where you put, you know, one of the players with the better arms on the team, just because, you know, you have that long throw from right field to home plate sometimes. So really, I think, you know, leaned on those experiences in baseball and football to kind of help sharpen each one. But definitely, I think my experiences playing baseball, and specifically in the outfield, kind of translated directly to playing quarterback.
I can see you taking one off the wall, and a guy trying to turn a double into a triple, nailing him at third base. Am I right? You've done that, right?
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
I love that. I love that. So as you have become a more accomplished quarterback, now you're not a high school quarterback, you're a college quarterback, you're a senior starter, you've played football a lot here, you've started games previous to this year. Where does pro football lie in your thoughts? I mean, for me it does with you, but that's unimportant. Have you given that any thought at this point?
Definitely. You know, I think specifically when I came here, I knew I wanted to play for a coach that would prepare me for the next level even after college and just really help me become the best quarterback that I could be. So that was a big part of me choosing to come here to play for you. And, you know, definitely still have pro prospects. I think, you know, that's something that is definitely within reach, you know, if I'm able to work hard enough for it. But really, really excited about the prospect of playing professionally, hopefully continue to have a great year here still. And lead this team to hopefully a Coastal Division championship and, you know, hopefully a bowl victory after that as well. But definitely looking forward to hopefully getting an opportunity to play at the next level in the NFL.
So pro football, in my eyes, is something, this opportunity you've already earned. when people ask me why, first, you can really throw the football. How many times have I told you, Quentin, you can really throw the football?
A bunch of times.
And you do. He can spin it. He's got a great quick release. Your intelligence, all of the things that it takes. The thing that I think we all, we feel this as a team right now, it does take a commitment level. How do we take, from your perspective as a quarterback, how do we take this team and wrap up this season? What's your thoughts on that?
The nice thing about our team is we are a very resilient bunch, I think, and we really kind of stick together when times get tough. So that's a quality you don't see in a lot of teams, but I think that really helps us just kind of refocus each week, and I think really emphasizing attention to detail, specifically on offense, attention to detail, ball security, and then playing with an edge, like you've been saying all week. Just kind of regaining our confidence. I don't think really it faltered at all, but now just kind of getting back on track, playing in the way that we know we're capable of playing. Yeah,
I think we talked about it Sunday. We know we're the same team with the same capabilities. There's nothing that is, our vision is still there. Nothing's taken that away. The thing that I think Quentin just alluded to, this team, and I tell them all the time, they're so loyal to each other. I admire you. You're a captain. I think you did a lot of that starting in January. I think you deserve a great deal of credit. And as we wrap this up, Quentin Harris is accomplished off the field. He's got a little break right now from grad school, which he's earned. All through camp is in grad school, taking tests, but really proud of him. He stands for everything that Duke football is. A great young man, a great leader, and absolutely a great player. Thank you. Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you, Coach.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now during Truck Month, get 0 for 72 on select F-150s or get $11,500 in total savings at your Carolina Ford dealer.
When we're born, we're more alike than we are different. Then somewhere along the way, we start to believe the more distant we are from each other, the more different we are. It's only when we venture into the world that we see all we share. Maybe that's the power of flight. Delta isn't flying just to bring us together, but to show we were never that far apart.
Major auto accident. Let's do what we do.
Serious injuries. Clearly our driver's fault.
So what's the plan? Delay? Deny?
What?
They called the law offices of James Scott Farron.
I think you should handle this one.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call on the Hurt Line, the law offices of James Scott Farron, right now.
No, you handle it. No, I insist. You handle it.
Duke Football 360 with Dave Harding.
Coming to you from on location for this week's edition of 360 with Wes Chesson, Duke Hall of Famer, former wide receiver. Wes, you were in my position for many years before as a radio analyst. Really good to see you, first of all. We're curious how things are going for you, what you've been up to.
Well, going great, Dave. I miss those days of getting to go to every Duke football game and being a part of a broadcast as you are today. Those were great years, great times. Bob Harris and I had a lot of fun together, and of course it was great being there with Bob and being a part of his team.
Wes, we always try to find excuses to see you, but this week in particular, with it being centered around the North Carolina rivalry and all that is involved there, there's a specific play that when we go back in the record books sticks out to everybody, and it's the shoestring play, the 50th anniversary of that famed play in 1969. You being a key part of that, you mind walking us through what that shoestring play really is for people that might not know what that much about it?
Well, Dave, it's hard to believe it's been 50 years. That's a big number. And it's the only touchdown anybody remembers I ever scored. You know, the easiest one I ever scored and the only one anybody remembers. But it was the last game of the year. We're going to play Carolina. Friday afternoon, you know how those last practices are before the last game. And we had noticed in our film studies that Carolina's defense, when they lined up in their huddle, they all had their backs to the football except for the captain who was calling the play, John Bunning. And we said, hey, we can take advantage of this. And so on Friday afternoon, we threw a couple of plays in and thought this might work, and really had no idea that we'd ever call it during a game. And we just got ready just in case, and I had a good time with it and got into a situation where Coach Hart calls the play, and quite honestly, I said, oh my goodness, we're going to look like the biggest fools that ever played in Wallace Wade Stadium. But as we lined up, Leo runs a quarterback sweep to the right side of the field toward our bench to get the ball as far away from the Carolina bench as possible, then kneels down like his shoe is untied and he's tying his shoe. And of course, Leo is the focal point of our offense, and that's who Carolina's defense is looking at. And as long as he's over tying his shoe, they're safe and they can get in their huddle and call their defensive formation. And as Leo was tying his shoe, we lined up with all our offensive linemen to the left of the football, away from the huddle of Carolina's defense, and got set, as you have to do before every play. And we didn't realize this, Coach Harp asked before the game, offensive linemen had to have their shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. We got that done. Marcel Cordelay throws his hands up like Leo's out tying his shoe. That was a signal for everybody to get set. We get set. Marcel picks the ball up, and I'm looking, and we have Carolina in their huddle. And I said, holy smokes, this thing might work. And Marcel throws the ball back to me. The old swinging gate, we walled off the Carolina huddle, and I just ran along the sideline for a touchdown.
And there was a big play in deciding the outcome of the game.
Yes.
Because Blue Devils go ahead to win it.
That's exactly right. Unfortunately, only one of 3 times that I played against Carolina where we came away with the win. But that was a good one that day.
In true movie magic form, we've got the play drawn up here. And the unbalanced line on this side with the defense all huddled together in one position is not a good place for the Tar Heels to be.
Well, and of course, they're focusing on Leo. And Leo's out tying his shoe, and they think nothing can happen until Leo gets back into position as the quarterback. And as he's tying his shoe, John Bunning is trying to get the call from the other side of the field from the defensive coordinators. And I talked to John, and he said he was so frustrated. He said, we only had 2 defenses. It's either 1 or 2. Go ahead and make the call. But he didn't get it soon enough. We were able to line up. As you said, everybody to the left of the ball. Marcel Cordelay picks it up and throws it to me back here behind the offensive lineman, and we simply wall them off. And I just run along the sideline for a touchdown.
Well, you had a lot of speed. It's funny because the only existing camera footage that we have of the play starts halfway through it. And it's of you streaking down the sideline because you faked out the camera operator as well. But you had some speed to make sure that you could get away from the rest of the defense.
Well, unlike today where you have unlimited amount of film, not film, but tape that you can use, back then every little slice of film was valuable. So they didn't start it until the offense got up to the line of scrimmage and they knew the action was about to start. And so the cameraman was waiting until he thought action was going to start. But they did get the tail end of it as I went into the end zone.
The important part, right? Of the score. Well, you've been a part of so many games, the Duke-North Carolina rivalry, either as a player or as a broadcaster. And we were talking off camera a bit about some of your favorites. This memory, though, the shoestring play has to be high atop the list.
Oh, absolutely. It's my favorite, of course. There are some other ones I remember as well. The next year we went over to Chapel Hill. I remember that one, unfortunately, well, because we got beat so badly by Don McCauley, rushing for, I think, 5 touchdowns. But great rivalry. There were some great games. And of course, being from North Carolina as I was, Leo was from North Carolina. We had a lot of friends who went to Chapel Hill. A lot of them played on the Carolina football team. So we knew them well. It was quite a rivalry, and we were glad to win that game, but we remembered all of them.
It doesn't matter necessarily how you win it. It's all about that W at the end.
Absolutely.
Right? And next time I see Leo Hart, I'm not trusting the fact that he's tying his shoe. You've probably got a head start to the buffet table or something on me, right?
Well, maybe so, but hey, whatever it takes.
Well, Wes, thank you so much. Always enjoy catching up with you, and always great to talk about a Duke Blue Devil great and a great win for Duke as well.
The Game Breakers, presented by Vivid Seats, official partner of the Duke Blue Devils. See more and sit closer with vividseats.com/Duke.
Jones looks over the defense and takes the snap. They rush forward. Great protection. Fires to the left, complete. Chris Taylor breaks the tackle, and now it's off to the races. Inside the 20, to the house. Touchdown. 52 yards. And there's your answer. There's the snap. Here comes pressure. He's in trouble. Throws it up for grabs. It's intercepted. Brian Fields to the 45. Cuts outside of the 30. There goes Fields down the sideline. Touchdown! A pick six for the senior.
Wow! How about that for the Blue Devils?
1:11 to go. First down, Carolina. Trubisky all kinds of time. Here come the flags, and it's intercepted. Thrown right to the defense, Alonzo Saxton.
And the Blue Devil players are headed for the corner to get that doggone bell.
Duke football is back at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium on November 16th as they take on ACC opponent Syracuse. Join us as we celebrate Military Appreciation Day. Free tickets available for military and first responders at goduke.com/service tickets. Public tickets start at just $19. Visit goduke.com/footballtics or call 919-681-BLUE to reserve your seat today. Duke football, Bull City proud.
When we're born, we're more alike than we are different. Then somewhere along the way, we start to believe the more distant we are from each other, the more different we are. It's only when we venture into the world that we see all we share. Maybe that's the power of flight. Delta isn't flying just to bring us together, but to show we were never that far apart.
Continental Tires are built for the road that connects you to all of life's journeys. And for nearly 150 years, we've been developing tires to fit your needs. Each Continental Tire is designed to give you precise handling and traction in all seasons, and a quiet, comfortable ride wherever the road takes you. You're at your best when you're doing what you really love. We're at ours when we're helping you get there. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Coach Cutcliffe's Game Analysis.
Maybe the most difficult day any of us have had, either since we've been at Duke. A unique game where mistakes in the first half hurt us. We're going into scoring positions offensively. Really, we're moving the football, and we miss here, miss there, and then we turn it over twice. Defensively, played really well, but in the end, our rush defense wasn't what it had been. And so often games are decided by, you got a circumstance, explosive plays, possession downs. We actually won the possession downs and lost the explosive plays. So it made it very difficult to find a consistent way to try to take a lead in the game. So a lot of questions as we go through about all of that. The most critical question, obviously, and it's not the total focus point of this game, is the last play. We called a special play where it's a halfback pass. We've run it before in goal line situation. They're digging in, trying to stop the run. You hand the ball off to your tailback. He takes it to the line of scrimmage and passes it to the tight end. Didn't work. They covered the tight end. It looked like somebody got to his feet, and he didn't have the ability to throw the ball out the back of the end zone with what you would do if it's covered. So unfortunately, a lot of people feel bad. You feel bad that you called it. You feel bad for Dion. You feel bad that it didn't work. You feel bad for everybody on this team after what a courageous effort. Our defense didn't quit competing. They took a timeout. We came over there, and all we talked about was turnover. Lo and behold, we get a turnover. The offense takes it the length of the field, puts it in position in the 1 yard line to win the game. And I wasn't all that interested in you're on the road in a very tough environment. They're running the ball better than us. I wasn't all that interested in tying this game. We were hunting an opportunity to win it. That's why we went for it on 4th down there when the ball was in the range of maybe a 49-yard field goal. We made that. We executed well down the stretch. Just didn't get it done. The things we're going to learn from this, how are we a little more consistent on defense versus the run against a good team? We're getting ready to play some that can run the ball. We got to get off the field at critical times on defense and tackle better. Offensively, flip it over. Just executing, throwing, and catching it at a little bit higher level. We got to protect the quarterback at a little bit higher level. Certainly you don't want turnovers involved in your offense. And so we're at a point with this team, we're 4-4. Opportunity is out there. We got a chance to get better during an open date. We've got big challenges that lie ahead in November, but we got a great opportunity to get this thing and finish strong. And we will see you in a couple of weeks in Wallace Wade Stadium, Brooks Field.